This is Shu with the review of the LeBron 21, much anticipated model because 20 was such a huge hit and they were always running short on supplies and they never went on sale, but people bought and resold them anyway. This is a unique hybrid of the pros and cons of LeBron 20 and the LeBron Next Chance, strangely. So it doesn't feel like a 21, it feels like a 19.5, something like that, or a LeBron 20 Next Gen, or 20 Gen, Next 20. So first of all, for size 9.5, it weighs about 420 grams, and that is heavier than the Next Gen, slightly lighter than the LeBron 20s, and yeah, that's strange. The upper material, they already have this visible fly wire all around, and they put this leather coating around it for some reason. I think they could have done a better job of what they did with the 20s. They used the knit materials to interwove around the fly wire. It would have been fine. I don't understand this leather concept. It's just heavy, not breathable. Even though they have like holes and perforations, it's not that breathable. So it's strange. I mean, it's better containment and durability than just having an exposed mesh or wire fly knit kind of upper. But yeah, these pointy bits, they're pretty high. They feel as high, if not higher, than what the LeBron Next Gen were, in terms of they don't really feel like a low top. So these pointy bits can hurt you a little bit if you tighten them up, depending on the shape of your feet. And they have a very prominent heel cup inside. It's really hard and rigid and feels unnecessary, like they had in the LeBron Next Gens. Heel slippage is not a major issue, not as bad as LeBron 20, but there aren't many shoes out there with less heel slippage, with bigger heel slippage issue than the LeBron 20s. Some say having a lace lip up here is going to help, but even without this, the heel containment is pretty good. But if you lace up your LeBron 20 well, it fits nicely, okay as well. Some heel slippage. So heel slippage is solved. Outsole pattern is a little different, but it feels pretty much similar to the LeBron 20. Good grip, but can be dust sensitive depending on where you play. If it's super dusty, this is not going to provide that grip, crazy grip, like some crazy Adidas models in the past, like Adidas Crazy Quick. For the fit, I would suggest going half up, because this is not exactly a crazy wide shoe. It is slightly more forgiving than the 20s and the Next Gen, but still, if you don't mind a tight fit, go true to size, but I would recommend going half up. If you have a very narrow foot, you can go true to size or half a size down. But yeah, slightly more roomy than 20s and Next Gen, but not crazily. The tongue is very well perforated inside, as you can tell, so there's some breathability there. It's well padded on the inside as well, so that's one thing I would give props to. The midsole apparently is a Cushlon 3.0, which is supposed to be an upgrade of the Cushlon they used for the LeBron 20, but I don't feel that crazy difference like I felt in the Jordan 38s, where the Cushlon and the Zoom worked in tandem to make it super mushy, but I guess this is a good thing. The heel, there's a more reinforced or denser foam surrounding it to provide a little bit of a resistance, to have that offset or a heel to toe drop, but it's not there. It feels pretty, straightforward parallel. If not, the heel is sinking a little bit more, just like the Next Gens. It feels like the Zoom Air is not as big as the ones used in LeBron 20. I don't know if it says 13 millimeter. I don't know if the 20 is 13 millimeter, but just the way it feels, immediately it feels like it's lower, smaller, less responsive than the Zoom Air contained in the LeBron 20s. It feels like slightly superior version of the, sorry excuse of a Zoom film that's used in the Next Gen. The forefoot, the Zoom, you can definitely feel it a little bit better than the LeBron 20, and the foam around it is a little bit more forgiving than the LeBron 20. The LeBron 20, you would need a good insole, because around the toe area, you might feel it's a little bit harder than where the Zoom Air is protruding. As for the Next Gen, you feel the foam is good, the Zoom Air on the forefoot is great, and you can really feel it right beneath your foot. But this one, it's in between. It's cushier, and you can feel it more than the LeBron 20s, but it's not as plush, and its existence is not that prominent as the Next Gen. So it's a weird in-betweener. Yeah. The insole is incredible. I like what they did. It seems like a sort of a recycled material, but the density of this Orsolite is much better than the ones used in the LeBron 20. I think the LeBron Next Gen had a really good insole, and this is pretty close to that. So yeah, outrigger is fantastic. I think this is probably one of the best outriggers I've experienced. As good, if not better, than the LeBron 20. I felt the Next Gen had an outrigger which was a little bit weird, placed closer to the midfoot than the forefoot area. It didn't really seem to provide the breakage that I crave. So the shoe, the price is ridiculous, and I think LeBron 20 enjoyed that glory year of sale because people were still hungry for Kobe's, and the LeBron's has never been like this ever. Light, low, and kind of cool looking, because LeBron's always have been clunky and big and bulky. So for this one, if you're an in-betweener who can't decide between LeBron 20 and the Next Gen, and if you feel like all the qualities that you crave is in this shoe, go for it. But I think you can do better by choosing either the Next Gen or the LeBron 20. And as for the LeBron 20, the later one, which is the they cost a little bit more, but I think they did tinker a little bit with the midsole, so it feels like it's an upgrade of the LeBron 20s. I would go for that instead of this one. Definitely this one will go on crazy discounts in the days and months to come, because it's not as impressive as, I'm not impressed by your performance, not as impressive as the LeBron 20s, not as impressive as the Next Gen. It has a little bit of the 20s and the Next Gen, and also it's lacking the qualities either of the LeBron 20 or the Next Gen. Heel, slightly better than Next Gen, but not as good as the LeBron 20s. Forefoot, slightly better than the LeBron 20s, but not as good as the Next Gen. So it's a weird in-betweener. So yeah, if it reminds you of the something that you've seen in the past, Kobe 80 NXT, Kobe 80 mid, I kept adding on the words. But anyway, this, they use a very paper-like thin material, so it was pretty lightweight and relatively breathable. But this one, thick leather on top of ready inner booty and meshy material with fly wire. What were they thinking?